No time for that doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Confused, mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walk the mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win, apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, apply myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I am your gracious host, Carl. I'm here to go over a week 3 preview here tonight. It is now September 13th, 9:37 p.m. at the time of recording. First of all, I'd just like to say, if you like the content on this channel, you like the content on this program here, CTC FFC Fantasy Football with Coombs, who just had an episode air at 6 today. So shout out to him. Lengthy episode, went over some good fantasy football stuff, some fantasy heroes and fantasy duds for the week. BWT, he had a show yesterday. I can't remember what time. Honestly, had a long day at work yesterday, so I didn't catch it during the premiere, but he had an episode yesterday. If you like BWT, I would like for you to leave a like, comment, subscribe on this channel, his videos, etc., etc. And lastly, you have the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave. Again, same thing. If you like the content from those shows, like, comment, subscribe on those videos, the video yesterday, and so on and so forth. Go down a little rabbit hole. If you're new here, I go over Wednesdays so far. Wednesdays, I do previews into the upcoming week. Sundays, I do recaps on the games that I've previewed. Now I could go over the polls because polls are now dropping. So we'll do that first. But before I do that, I'd just like for you to enjoy the show. Like I said, light the comment section up and let's get straight to it. So we got the top 25 polls right here on my phone. We have UGA, top of the polls at 2-0. Michigan, I disagree, but they're second in the polls, 2-0. Florida State, who I think should be above Michigan, 3-0. 3 on the polls, 2-0. Texas, who should be either second or third, not mad there, but they're fourth, 2-0. Huge win against Alabama. SC at 3-0 is 5. Ohio State 2-0 is 6. Now I feel like you could put Penn State at 6. Penn State has looked like the better team, but they're 7th at 2-0. Even Washington's 2-0 at 8. Notre Dame is 9 with 3-0. Alabama dropped to 10, being 1-1. Utah is 11, Tennessee is 11, at 2-0. Now, Utah being 12 at 2-0, yeah, it's 2-0, but they narrowly escaped Baylor Saturday. So I felt like they should have dropped. Oregon should have jumped. I know they narrowly escaped Texas Tech. Texas Tech didn't have their backup quarterback playing. Baylor did. I think Baylor is probably power ranked lower than Texas Tech. So felt like there should have been a flip there at least. LSU 14 at 1-1. Not mad that they didn't move up. They beat Grambling State. Florida State, the score looked a little closer, even though 21 points ain't close, but it was really could have been a 28-point loss for LSU. So I'm not mad they didn't jump anybody. Kansas State at 15. Yeah, they beat Troy, who's I believe the defending Sun Belt national champions, not national, but Sun Belt champions, conference champions. But not mad at 15 there. I'm really not mad the rest of the way. Oregon State 16, Ole Miss 17, Colorado. I told y'all Colorado was going to jump to the top 20. They're at 18. Oklahoma's at 19. Not mad Colorado jumped Oklahoma. Oklahoma kind of struggled a little bit with SMU. Colorado took care of business against Nebraska. UNC at 20, narrowly escaped in double OT against Appalachian State. Duke at 21, could flip Duke in North Carolina. Not mad if you do. The U at 22, shoot, you could flip the U in front of both of them, wouldn't be mad. Washington State at 23, my upset pick. I'm not mad there. UCLA finally gets in the top 25, 24, and Iowa at 25. Really not mad there. Maybe you could put Kansas at 25. Iowa's offense, man, is so disgusting. So I maybe put Kansas at 25. I might have kept Tulane in the top 25. I know they just lost to Ole Miss, but Michael Pratt was in there, and they played well. Just a fumble 6 at the end of the game made that score look a lot worse than it was. It was a close game throughout. Tulane actually had control of that game for some time. So not Tulane at 25 wouldn't have been mad at either. But that's the polls for this week going into this week. Leave a comment. How do you feel about them? For my guys that's watching after it's live, for anybody that tunes in, comment how you feel about the polls. Comment how you feel about how I feel about the polls. So we're gonna hop into this week 3 preview. Thursday night. There's 2 games Thursday, but I'm not going over the U versus Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman should get torched in this game. Like Miami should not make this a game. Just go handle business, beat Bethune-Cookman. That's all I got for you there. So I'm gonna leave you with the preview of Navy at Memphis. Now, again, now that we have, I wanted to go over 2 things about my previews. One, I go over basically like things teams should do to win those games. Like last week, Louisville. I mean, they won because they're Louisville, but Murray State, I said they should run the ball. When they did run the ball, they ran effectively. Against Nebraska and Colorado, I said Jeff Sims need to stop turning the ball over. Nebraska defense tried all they might to overcome some bad Jeff Sims turnovers, but you give a team too many possessions, it's hard to do that. Ask the Jets and the Bills. So, yeah. I give you a couple keys of I think you should do or teams should do to win the game. Now, I will start to use numbers kind of more so along later on in the season. Right now, you got non-conference games and some schools book cupcakes. Michigan, they book cupcake games, so the numbers could be skewed. You really can't really tell too much. They probably just doing it against inferior. I even throw my boys out there right now. We didn't play Central Michigan and Richmond. Like, those are games that throw the numbers out. Like, whatever we did great in those games, those are things we should be doing in those games. So a lot of games like that going on. So I'll start to use numbers when we get a little bit into conference play. But yeah, so Navy at Memphis. So as you know, Navy Military Academy runs the triple option. They play Thursday night, 7:30 ESPN. So a nice little appetizer before Thursday night football. Navy, can they get the rushing lanes against an FBS school? So against Notre Dame, the game I watched, that's the only other FBS school they played, Wagner's FCS. But they were able to attack a little bit through the ground. Like, they were able to get a couple big plays, especially early, but later on they couldn't. Can they do this against Memphis? I think they can. So yeah, let me fix this note. They played, I don't know where I got this other word from. They played decent against Notre Dame in the first half. They did offensively. They did play decent in the first half. Will Navy put the ball in the air more? They went from 6 pass attempts against Navy to 13 pass attempts against Wagner. I said from week 0, when the coach said that they'll keep Navy's principles, but the offense might look a little different. I thought that meant they'll pass the ball. I still have hope that means they'll pass the ball. I think the pass increased numbers could indicate that. I mean, Memphis is an air raid school, so they might have to try to keep up if Memphis starts pouring it on. Be prepared to stop the pass. Basically just went over that. Memphis likes to throw the ball, Seth-Hanigan, so be prepared for that. And can they get to Seth-Hanigan? Can they not allow Seth-Hanigan to be effective? Can they get him on the ground? Can they get to him to hurry him? Can they send some exotic stuff at him? Can they blitz and go man-to-man against Seth-Hanigan? Now, for Memphis, play your game. Air it out. Let that thing fly. Don't abandon, but however, don't abandon the run. You can't be one-dimensional. Never. Gap discipline. You're going to hear this because I preview all 3 military schools. You're going to hear this every time. It is an option. You have to stay gap disciplined. You got to read your keys. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't be too aggressive. Be too aggressive, it opens the lane. Next thing you know, 20-yard game, 30-yard game, maybe even a long touchdown. So gap discipline. Hanigan has to stay mistake-free. No picks. I think he has a pick in each game. No picks. Let's not give that Navy offense a chance to control the clock, run the timeout. Let's not give them a chance to, keep the ball on the ground, do what they do best, and then they win the game because of clock control. Defense has 4 forced fumbles. Can they continue to take the ball away? You're going against a school that loves to run the ball. They love to run the option. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to force some fumbles. Can you take advantage? And the cornerbacks have to be ready to help and run support. You are playing a military academy. Not too many times right now, as we see, will that ball be in the air. Got to be ready to defend the run. You got to be ready to come up and make a tackle. So I always, with my previews, pick a winner. And if y'all want gambling advice or gambling mine, where I think personally who will cover spreads or over-unders, just leave it in the comments. I won't do it unless I get asked to do it. So with that being said, I have Memphis winning at home. I think Memphis will be able to throw the ball, not get pretty much whatever they want, but they'll be able to keep the ball in the air, and I think they'll obviously they'll outscore them, but they'll get them to a point where Navy is going to have to try to score quick, and that's not a Navy game, and it gets them out of their game. So I'm gonna go Memphis. Then we go to UVA at Maryland, Friday, 7 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. UVA coming off of a game where I talked about, I even made him a major performer in the loss, where Anthony Calandria had an amazing game. And my first note here, for UVA, who will start, Tony Muskett or Anthony Calandria? And I found that out this morning. I searched it, I Googled it. I wrote this on Monday, Googled it to see if I could find an answer because the game's on Friday. And all signs point to Tony Muskett. And the coach said if Tony Muskett is a go, then he didn't lose. You're not going to lose your job because of injury. He showed why he earned that spot. It's Tony Muskett's job on Friday. Now, me personally, I'm not too mad with that. I understand Calandria had a great game last week, but he didn't go against Tennessee. JMU, as good of a school I think they are, they're not Tennessee. So it's just like Madden or like any game, you go from playing on Hall of Fame to playing on Superstar or All Madden, All Madden, All Pro. Kind of like that situation there. So not too mad at the fact that Tony Muskett is going to start if he's healthy. Now, I do want to see if Calandria is really that good, though, because he had a great game. He looked phenomenal. So I want to see if he's that good. But it is what it is. Now, can UVA finally establish a run game? They have to. You have to help your quarterback out and establish a run game. All right, too much Turpin love in the chat, but this is their game. So can this defense finally get their first interception against Talia? Can they force Talia to turn the ball over? They have to. You have to, as a defense, help your offense give you more possessions, especially if your offense, if you can't score. You got to give momentum turning plays. You got to help your offense out a little bit. I know your offense has to help your defense too. Don't get me wrong, but, one hand helps the other. Both wash the face. It's no defense, though. No defense. And then if Calandria starts, which he won't, is Muskett, was last week a fluke or is it real? But we'll never know unless Muskett plays bad. Moving on to Maryland. Unleash Talia Tagovailoa. Let him sling the rock all over the field. Let him do him. I'm pretty sure that offense has changed since I've last seen it. I haven't really got eyes on Maryland yet, like I would like. But I'm pretty sure they've come a long way from just a screen game thing they was running like 2 years ago. I mean, I know feed Roman Hemby is my next bullet point. Unleash Roman Hemby. Let him feast. Let him run all over this UVA defense. If Calandria starts, again, I wrote this on Monday, he is a freshman, send blitzes. Now, I'll say this. Even Muskett or Calandria send blitzes. Muskett comes from Monmouth, FCS. I'm not saying FCS don't blitz, but FCS don't blitz with these types of athletes. FCS, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that might be better. Okay, well, I stand corrected. Thank you, Tomo. They still do a lot of the screen gaming, unfortunately. So I thought this year they would change. I honestly did. I thought they would really believe more so in Talia, but I guess not. Like I said, I haven't got eyes on Maryland this year as much as I wanted to. So guess they are still just screen and run. So sucks. It sucks for Maryland because I feel like that's their downfall. They could probably be a better school, do better in the Big Ten if they expand the offense. But hey, I don't want that to happen. I mean, I do. You know, I take that back. I do. Dominate the trenches. You got to stop Roman Hemby, excuse me. You got to dominate the trenches. You can't allow rushing lanes to form. I know he can create his own, but if he creates a lot of runs through missed tackles and yards after contact, then great game. But if y'all just giving him lanes where he's not touched to the second level, y'all, come on. You got to close those holes. And no, y'all want week 4, y'all taking that L. But this is about week 3. We'll get into that. We'll get into that when week 4 comes. And finally, control the clock and force 3 and outs. Yeah. Self-explanatory. So my pick for the win this Friday, though, I have Maryland winning. I just think Maryland's the better football team. I know I came in low on UVA this year. They've bumped up in my head. I think they're better than what I had them coming into the season, but I still don't think they're better than Maryland. I still don't think they win, especially on the road in College Park. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. Noon kickoff. I mean, not noon kickoff. Friday night kickoff, excuse me. Friday night kickoff. Yeah, I think Maryland wins that game. Moving on. Army at UTSA. Last year, Army at UTSA was a game. I think UTSA won in like overtime. I'm going to look it up. I believe they won in like triple overtime. But this time it's in San Antonio. 7 o'clock kickoff, 7 p.m. on ESPN Friday night. You have my keys. Well, one of these keys or a couple of these keys might sound familiar because Army Military Academy. You already know what the thing is with Military Academy. It's going to be an option-heavy game. So with UTSA, when I say it, you already know what it is. But with Army, I have, can they run on this defense? This defense looked real good. By the way, I just looked it up. UTSA did win in OT. They won by 3 points on the field goal and overtime. No, they went off a touchdown. Excuse me. Army scored the field goal. UTSA scored the touchdown, won by 3 last year. Now, all right, so can they run the ball on this defense? I think this defense did a really good job on the run game against Houston. So can Army run on that defense? Do they have the athletes to keep up with these receivers? So I understand UTSA, they lost Dakari Franklin, but Decorian Clark and why am I blanking on this guy's name? Why am I blanking on Cephas? Why am I blanking on Cephas' first name? But Cephas, great receivers still. Great receivers, can still get open, still make plays. I don't know why I'm blanking on Cephas' first name. Is honestly making me upset, but they make plays, they get open. Can they contain Frank Harris? More on Frank Harris later. Kavorian Barnes is still no slouch either. So now you're worried about the running. You're worried about these receivers. Can you stop them one-on-one? May have to go too high safety to help. May have to have some robbers, single high robbers, stuff like that. But don't forget about Kavorian Barnes in the backfield. Great running back as well. So you got your hands full of your Army. Clock control and keep the UTSA offense off the field. So basically, that option got to be firing. You got to get them out their gaps. You got to get them, falling for the window dressing of like the motions and falling for the fake handoffs. You got to get them. You got to get the defense going opposite directions to open up rushing lanes. You got to keep that UTSA offense off the field because if they on the field, I feel like the more times you get on the field, they're going to score. It's not like, this offense on the field, but they can't score. I think they're going to score if they're on this field. So have to keep them off the field. Now for UTSA, which Frank Harris shows up? Frank Harris, man, disappointed me week 1 against Houston. Looked bad. I had to kill him. 3 picks. What is he doing out there? And they were bad picks. They were picks where as a 7th-year guy, what are you looking like? You can't throw these things. You can't run right, throw back left. Like, what are you doing? And I love Frank Harris. But I had to kill him week 1. It was bad. But you also got games where, like, I think last year in the Conference USA Championship, he balls. But you also got games like against Troy in the Cure Pink Bowl where, like, what are you doing? So which Frank Harris shows up? You gap control, same thing as against Navy. Gap control, gap control, gap control. You jump out your gap, you get out your gap, they will gash you. Try as hard as you can to force Army to pass. Now, the reason why I say try as hard as you can, because these military academies, they're stubborn. They're going to run the option. Third and 10, they still might run the option. 3rd and 13, and they might pass. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8, they're going to try to get you with that option run. So try as hard as you can to force a pass. I got Kev in the chat, Miami fan. Unfortunately, I didn't, like I said earlier, I don't know if you were here. I'm not going over the Miami game this week. Y'all play Bethune-Cookman. Please don't have me coming on here Sunday previewing, not even previewing, just talking about a bad Miami game against Bethune-Cookman. Y'all should just cook them tomorrow. So no Miami for you, Kev. And it's nothing against y'all. It's just y'all play Bethune-Cookman. Can't be bend but don't break defense. So if normally UTSA is a bend but don't break defense, they'll give you yards, but you're not going to score touchdowns. And if you do, you're going to have to work really hard for them. So they can't do that against this Army team because that's just going to lead to clock control. That's going to lead to time of possession losing. Like, they're going to lose time of possession. It might leave like extra possessions out the game, especially now, you know what I'm saying, this year with the rule that clocks only stop on first downs under 2 minutes in each half. So first quarter through 2 minutes of the second, clock runs no matter what. Third quarter through the last 2 minutes of the fourth, clock runs no matter what. And there's no 2-minute warnings in college. So the more time they let, the more that Army wins the time of possession, the more Army has a chance of winning this game. So they have to get off the field. No bend but don't break. And hit explosive plays as much as you can. Get down the field and score fast and often. Make Army get down early in this game to get out of their game plan. They have to do that. So with that being said, I have UTSA winning this game. At UTSA this year. Get that they're not, and then they lose their best weapons, Zakari Franklin, but a lot of them guys come back. So I'm going to go with UTSA here. Moving on to the last game Friday night, you have Utah State at Air Force Friday, 8 o'clock on CBSN. Another military academy. So you know what my game plan, you know what I'm going to say for Utah State. And Utah State visiting teams, I'm going to go first with them. Can they continue to win, continue with the ground game? Can they continue to run the ball? Bad handwriting, I'm sorry. Can they, what up, Mark? What up, Mark? Can they continue to establish the run game against this Air Force defense? Again, military academy, gap, discipline. I have it with 3 exclamation points this time because it's the third time we're talking about it, but gap, discipline. Can Cooper Legos continue their air attack? Can he continue, like basically for UTSA, can he get it done through the air enough to where you get Air Force out of their game plan, out of the run option? They feel like we got to go score quick. We can't really win the option. It's hard to do that against military academies, however, because they'll be down 20. Like Navy against Notre Dame was down with 30. Still running the triple option. So I know it's hard. Got something on the Mountaineers later. Force Air Force to get in the passing situations. Like I said, it's going to be hard. Control the trenches. Running the option, you got to win the trenches. Have to win the trenches. If you don't win the trenches, that leads to gashing holes in this option. They're going to find the holes. They're going to make the right reads. They practice it 24/7. So for Air Force, can the running backs get going in this option? Now, you might be saying, Carl, this is the option. What do you mean? Their leading rusher isn't their running back. It's not one running back. It's not the fullback. It's not none of that. It's the quarterback. The quarterback is their leading rusher. So can he get the running back to? Can he create enough with his legs where now they start taking the quarterback more offense? They key in on the quarterback. They tell the read man, hey, no matter what, go get the quarterback. Well, you know what I'm saying? Can he get them to do that? Can this quarterback keep the defense guessing? Basically goes into what I just said. Better bring defense. Utah State averages 7.6 yards per carry. So could be a run fest. Could be a run fest in this game. Clock control leads to touchdown. So they have to basically, like I said, you have to control the clock You gotta score touchdowns, though. You can't control the clock to punt. Like, you can't go 9 plays, 4 minutes, punt. Let's go 12, 13 plays, 7 minutes, touchdown. Even sprinkling the field goal here and there. But you can't kill clock to punt the ball. Can't kill clock to fumble. You got to finish drives. And pressure Cooper Legos. Put pressure on him. Maybe he'll fold. Maybe these other games. I know Iowa, he didn't play that great, but you know what I'm saying? They only scored 14 points, but it's Iowa. Put pressure on him. See if you might get a turnover. You might, you know what I'm saying, force incompletions on key third downs. Pressure him. But in the end, I do have Air Force winning this game. I know the past 2 years I've watched, Air Force probably should have won. I think they won last year, and they should have won 2 years ago when I watched. But Andrew Peasley, now quarterback for Wyoming, came in and had a monster performance. I was like, who is this guy? Like, he's balling. If you do have a chance and you do want to watch a great quarterback performance, Andrew Peasley, Utah State versus Air Force 2021, the 21-22 season when Utah State won the Mountain West Conference. Andrew Peasley balled, and it was phenomenal. Like, he really did his thing. But I'm gonna go with Air Force in this game. Moving on, we have Saturday. We move into the Saturday slot, Saturday noon. Now, I normally again do 5-5-5, but man, this 3:30 to 7 o'clock slot, couldn't really find the fifth game worth like previewing. So instead, I did 5-4-6, just like last week. So 5 in the noon, 4 in the afternoon, 6 in the late night. So we'll start with ranked 7 Penn State. Got some Penn State fans versus at Illinois, who's coming off a bad loss against Kansas. Saturday noon on Fox. Now I'm off this Saturday, so I'll be tuned in to a lot of these games. Penn State, can Drew Allard pick apart the secondary? Jalen Daniels had no problem doing that. Like I said, 7 to 8 in the first half on third down, just phenomenal there by Jalen Daniels. Can Drew Allard repeat? Nicholas Singleton will have a heavy workload. They're going to run the ball. I mean, Devin Neal had success on the ground last week for Kansas as well. So they're going to see that, and they're like, yeah, we got success on the ground against these guys. Now, they do have to deal with them D linemen up front. Now, that's a fact. They do got to deal with them. But I feel like they're gonna give them a steady dose of Nick Singleton. Efficiency on third downs. Like I said, Kansas was 7 for 8 on third down. Can you match that? Even 6 of 8, 5 of 8, that's still above 50%. Can you get more third down conversions than have to get off the field? Kansas did it. Can you? And contain Luke Altmaier. Luke Altmaier had a couple long runs late in the Kansas game. Don't let Luke Altmaier kill you with his legs. Make him have to beat you with his arm. Make these receivers have to create separation. They really didn't do a really good job against Kansas. Kansas defense had those receivers on straps. I feel like Penn State has the athletes on defense as well, led by Kalen King. So don't let Luke Altmaier out the pocket. Force him to have to either throw the ball away, sack him, or just basically don't let him out this pocket. Illinois, receivers have to get separation. Like I just said, they were strapped up against Kansas. Couldn't get no separation. Can they do it this week against Penn State? Have to get off the field on third downs. Again, allow 7 for 8 on third down the first half. Kansas went nuts. Now, Kansas only had 6 points in the second half. So, can they build on that second half? Stay ahead of the chains on offense. You cannot, against this defense, be 1st and 10, go to 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 11. Got to stay in front of the chains. Got to consistently be on 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4. Cannot get behind the chains because they'll pin their ears back and they're coming to get you. Send blitzes and exotic looks at Drew Allard. Now, I say that because he's a freshman. And West Virginia's a good team. I lied. West Virginia is a Power 5 team, but I don't know if they're a good team. So we don't really know, at least I'm not really sure what Drew Allard can do under the fire. Let's find out this Saturday. Why not? You have Jim Leonard as a defensive analyst or something like that. Let's get some blitzes going. Let's put some fire under Drew Allard. And win the trenches to contain Nicholas Singleton. Self-explanatory. But in the end, I'm going to go with Penn State. I think Penn State easily wins this game. Penn State is by far the better team. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Illinois lost so many pieces on that secondary. Now, while they do still have good pieces on that secondary, it's not the same as last year, obviously. It's really not. So, but that's hard to duplicate, especially for Illinois. So, we'll go Penn State there. My next game, I have LSU at Mississippi State, Saturday noon on ESPN. For LSU, Jalen Daniels had to be an effective passer. I think he was decent in the past game against Florida State. I'm not going to count Grambling State as Grambling State. I think he was decent against Florida State. Like I said, a lot of his stats got inflated off that late touchdown and garbage time. Get Malik Neighbors the ball. Get your best playmaker the ball. I don't care if it's through the screen game. I don't care if it's short passes. I don't care if it's deep posts, slants, whatever you got to do to get him in favorable situations to give him the ball. Get him the ball. Can the defense turn Will Rogers over? I think right now Will Rogers is sitting on 0 interceptions. Can that change? Can LSU pick him off to create extra possessions for this offense? Harold Perkins and Mekhi Wingo has to be effective on both levels. Mekhi Wingo on the D-line, Harold Perkins at that linebacker spot, wherever they may put him. I know they put him a lot at middle. Maybe they might put him on the outside. They got to affect the game, though. They have to get the Will Rogers. They got to get in this game. They got to leave an imprint on this game. And they have to be able to finish drives. Now, I say that because against Florida State, they had 2 drives. First one, turnover on downs after 6 shots at the end zone. And another one, they went turnover on downs in the red zone. So you got to finish drives. You can get down there, but you got to get 6. Especially if Will Rogers can get it going through the air, got to finish these drives. Now, for Mississippi State, run to set up the pass. Get Joe Marks the football. Can't be one-dimensional. You can never be one-dimensional. You got to keep the defense guessing. If you come out just slinging, no running the football, no threat of the run, then they just going to pin their ears back, come get you and play coverage. And so they got to be able to establish the run game to get Will Rogers, get the defense, to balance out a little bit, calm down. They're not pinning their ears back. They know if they're too aggressive, they can hit them with a draw, hit them with some type of run, a shotgun run, get big chunks. So got to establish the run. Can Will Rogers stay mistake-free? Like I said, he's at 0 picks right now. Can that stay the same by the end of this game? O-line has to be tough up front because this D-line and this front 7 for LSU is really good. They have to be tough and physical up front. Can this secondary stay with their receivers? So they got some receivers with Brian Thomas and Kyron Lacey and Malik Neighbors. They even, one of my guys for tight end of the year, but he's not going to get it. But one of my guys I have as a finalist, Mason Taylor. Do they have the guys that can stay with these guys and contain Jaden Daniels? Don't allow him to run for chunk plays. If you're able to contain Jaden Daniels and not give him scramble lanes to gas you for 20 yards, gas you for 30 yards, gas you for 40 yards, because LSU was up 17-14 in that game against FSU. And it's mainly because Jaden Daniels is able to use his legs to gain big chunk plays. Got to contain him. Got to make him beat you with his arm. Because, boy, if he get out and scramble, he's going to kill you for big chunk plays. In the end, however, I do have LSU winning this game. I think LSU is probably more up front, more physically dominant up front. Like I said, that D-line is nasty. The front 7 is nasty. I get Mississippi State has the athletes. I get Mississippi State the SC school. I get all that. I get Mississippi State's at home. But just think LSU is just a better football team. I think Mississippi State actually might have the better quarterback, believe it or not. But LSU I think they might be better everywhere else. So I'm going to go LSU. Moving on, we have 15th ranked K-State at Mizzou. K-State. Can they keep up the offensive onslaught? They've scored 45 and 42, respectively. 45, I think, was against an FCS school. 42 was against Troy. Don't know if Troy's defense is the same as it was last year. So, remains to be seen if they consistently can put up 40. Mizzou is a better defense. I think Mizzou is going to be a better litmus test for this offense. Can they be physical with these SEC trenches, both offense and defense? And like I said, it's an FCS school, SEC school, man. SEC schools, they recruit different. They might be a bad SEC school, but they definitely got the size up front. Will Howard has to cut the interceptions. He has 2 so far against, I think he has 1 each game. He shouldn't have 1 each game. Like, okay, cool, you do 1 against Troy. That might be excusable, but first game, inexcusable. No interceptions. Let's cut the interceptions. Don't give Mizzou any extra possessions. Who will get run game going first? Will K-State get the run game going first? No, excuse me. Who will get the run game going for K-State? Excuse me. Deuce Vaughn isn't there anymore. So who's going to pick up the slack? Deuce Vaughn's now in the NFL for the Cowboys. So who's going to pick up where Deuce Vaughn left off? Can defense show it is still good? It is good. So I think they gave up 0 points and 13 points respectively in their last 2 games. So can they show it's not just competition level? They can do this against Mizzou too. They can do this in the Big 12. They can do this against, I want to say basically everybody, because they're not doing that against Bama. They're not doing it against Texas. They're not doing it against Georgia. But Mizzou, can they show that against Mizzou, they can still hold them guys? Mizzou offense isn't really that great either. Now for Mizzou, can Brady Cook get going? And again, testing against this defense. Can Brady Cook get something going? Force K-State to get behind the chains. So I say this even though I feel like Will Howard may be able to bail them out, but he's not going to consistently be able to bail them out. So if Mizzou can assure the run, like stop the run, then that, pin their ear back, go get Will Howard. But with Will Howard, he can still use his legs. So I still say get them behind the chains, but it's not necessarily because she's going to throw you picks. I mean, well, he threw you one, so that's not what I meant to say. But yeah, I think you can get what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that's an end-all, be-all, but it obviously puts you in a better situation if you can turn K-State one-dimensional. Don't allow them to get that run game going. Is basically what I mean by that. Can this O-line open holes to get the run game going? So Mizzou, just like K-State, have a problem with the run game. Can they get it going against K-State? Can defense get first interception? Hold on, what? Oh, my bad. I read my own handwriting wrong. Can they get their first interception? Mizzou defense has no interceptions. Meanwhile, Will Howard has thrown a pick in each game. Who's going to fold? Is Will Howard going to throw another pick in this game and give Mizzou their first pick of the season? Or will Mizzou come away empty-handed still and Will Howard gets his first game with no interceptions for the season? So they have to force a turnover. They have to force a pick. My bad handwriting. I've said this multiple times. But in the end, I'm going to go with K-State. I think K-State offense is better. K-State has I don't know if I would say they have a better defense, but for sure they have a better offense. I think K-State is just a better overall team. I think Will Howard, with the experience, he's gotten so much better since 2 years ago when he took over for Skylar Thompson, when Skylar Thompson got hurt. And I think he lost them a chance at the Big 12 championship that year, bounced back, got them the Big 12 championship last year. So I think Will Howard's improved tremendously. I think they beat Mizzou. On to the next game, Louisville at Indiana. Nobody's ranked. Saturday noon on Big Ten Network. Louisville, I said it on the recap. I'll say it again. Get Jawar Johnson the ball more. Jawar Jordan the ball more often. He is a big play maker. He goes for 20, 30, 70, and I'm not exaggerating. He's done it. Georgia Tech, he did it, and then he did it against Murray State. So he did it against an FBS and an FCS opponent. Get him the ball. Jack Plummer, no more interceptions. He has 3 INTs on the season. I don't know. Hey, Cardo, I see a message. Hey, it's a difference between Colorado and Colorado State, my boy. You got to drop the state. Colorado is where Prime is. Colorado State is the Rams. They actually play each other this week too. So I know what you mean, but you looking for Colorado, my guy. Jack Plummer has 3 picks on the season. This Indiana offense is going to struggle. Cannot help this Indiana offense out by giving them the ball in short fields. No picks from Jack Plummer. Got to be mistake-free. Thrash the defense. Jamari Thrash, another big playmaker. Get him the ball. Get him the ball. You see he scored off a jet sweep, caught deep passes. Just get him the ball any way possible. Him and Jawar Jordan needs to touch the football a lot. Shore up that run defense. I said it against Murray State, and I said it against Georgia Tech. When Georgia Tech went on that 28-point second quarter, a lot of that was set up by Trey Cooley in the run game. Murray State, when they were able to move the ball effectively, that's when they stuck to the run. when they abandoned the run and started to throw the ball more, when they were trying to throw the ball more, didn't look good. But when they ran the ball, they were getting like 4 or 5 yards a pop. Even like the commentator was saying, like, man, this run game has been effective so far. I don't know why they abandoned it. I mean, eventually they had to abandon it because they were down so much. But in the beginning of the game, if they just stuck to the run, they could have probably did a little something. I don't think they would have won. I don't even think they would have kept it close, but put a little something better on tape. Now you good, Cardo. It's all good. I'll leave that up there for a little bit. Pressure Taven Jackson. Put some pressure on him. He's going to miss a couple throws if you do. That's if Taven Jackson starts, and I'll show you why in a second. Because I just said Indiana. I don't know if they picked a starter yet. They've been running a 2-quarterback system, trying to find a starter. So I think Taven Jackson will start. I think he did play better of the two against Indiana State, but it's Indiana State. So Indiana, stick with the run game. Jalen Lucas. They have to stick with the run game because, like I said, Louisville is susceptible to the run. Give Jalen Lucas the ball. Just stay with it. Even if you get behind the chains, you might get a first down, tackle for a loss. Just stick with it because more times than not against this Louisville defense, you're going to have a successful run. Jalen Lucas has to hold on to the football. He had 2 fumbles against Indiana State last week. 2 of them. He lost one, which led to, I think, like a 75-yard fumble return touchdown, scoop and score. But he had 2 fumbles last week. Can't have that. Pick a quarterback and stick with him. I think they should pick Taven Jackson and just stick with him, man. You can't keep going into this 2-quarterback system. Eventually, somebody's confidence is going to be killed. And I understand, like, it's a sport or whatever and suck it up type. But these are college kids. You have to pick a guy. Have to go with a guy and still confidence in the guy so he can get the confidence to get the hang of this game, for the game to slow down, for him to have the coaches trust in him. It will probably do wonders for either one of the quarterbacks' game. So I think they should pick Taven Jackson and just stick with him. But you have to force turnovers. Like I said, man, Jack Plummer has 3 picks already in 2 games. Got to force a turnover. Got to get some interceptions. Help your offense out. Figure out an identity. That goes tied in with the quarterback situation. You got to pick a quarterback. What do you want to do? Are you a run team? Are you a passing team? You blitz on defense? You just man-to-man? You run zone? They got to find an identity. I don't think Indiana has an identity yet. But with that being said, I'm going to go with Louisville on the road. I don't think it's close, to be honest. Louisville is a more established team. Louisville, if they turn the ball over, if they don't turn the ball over, I think Louisville's just going to blow them out. Don't help Indiana. Indiana just so poor offensively. Yo, what up, Teddy? Hey, Teddy, I might be late for my man game. Don't start. Hey, I'm going to play at 11 if I get off at 11. Don't advance it. Moving on, we have Iowa State at Ohio. Iowa State at Ohio Saturday, noon, ESPNU, last noon game of my preview. Keep Curtis Rourke upright. Oh, wait, hold on. I accidentally wrote this wrong. So I always do the road team first. I accidentally wrote the home team first. So Iowa State. Good luck, Teddy. Good luck. Iowa State. Can they turn Curtis Rourke over? He has 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. Can they force turnovers from him? It's going to be a defensive game, which fits Iowa State. Iowa State, 5-star grit over 5-star talent. Defense. Probably one of the only Big 12 teams that play defense. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So this game fits them. Rocco Beck has to get a rhythm. He has to get in rhythm this game. Control the trenches and get Ohio behind the chains. Again, the more you get Curtis Rourke to throw the ball, the more opportunities you have to catch a turnover. So if you are Iowa State, you want to contain Thunder and Lightning. I'll get into a little bit more in a second, and force Rourke to throw the ball. Now for Ohio, keep Curtis Rourke upright. If you remember, he got hurt on the sack game 1 at the end of the quarter, literally against San Diego State. Keep him upright. Curtis, take care of the football. 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions, man. It's not a good not a touchdown to interception ratio. Defense stays strong. Again, this is going to be a defensive game, so you got to get your stops. You can't give up points in this game. Points are a premium. I understand. We all know you need points to win, but some games, points is going to come whenever you want. It's going to be a shootout. This ain't one of them. Points are a premium. A 3-point game can feel like a 17-point game in this game. Thunder and Lightning. That's Saya Bangarua and O'Shawn Allison. Get them going. Get them going. Give them a heavy dose of that. Mix it in. Just get them going. And then look for Sam Wiggins on third down. Need to play down 12. Sam Wiggins is just a great. I love Sam Wiggins as a receiver at Ohio. Great on third down. It's hard to guard. Look for him on third down. You get a conversion. But in the end, I'm going to go with Iowa State in this game. Like I said, this game fits Iowa State. This is the type of games they want to play. They're not one of those teams where Matt Campbell's not going to have them like, oh, this is a night school. Y'all can, you know what I'm saying, just wake up and show up and win. No. Matt Campbell's going to have them prepared. Matt Campbell will have them prepared to play Charles Herbert Flowers High School. So he's going to have them prepared for this game. Next game. Unfortunately, I have to preview this game because it's the first SEC game, SEC East game, and it's Georgia. South Carolina at Georgia. Shout out to Tony. Saturday, 3:30 on CBS. South Carolina have to protect Spencer Rattler. 9 sacks against North Carolina was unacceptable. If you repeat the performance, it might be double digits. Pressure Carson Beck. He is a young quarterback. This is his first start in an SEC game. So put some pressure on him. Let's see how he do under the fire. Have to establish the run. You have to. If you get behind the chains of niggas, this Georgia team, they're going to pin their earbacks. And like I said, Spencer Rattler, this team is going to give up double-digit sacks unless Spencer Rattler is able to throw the ball away. Sustain long touchdown drives. Pretty much self-explanatory. You got to sustain drives where we keep this offense on the field and score touchdowns. We need touchdowns because Georgia's going to go score. We need touchdowns. Field goals are unacceptable. Finally, have to create turnovers. Yep. We have to create turnovers, give our offense short fields. Got to do it. Now for Georgia, all they got to do is play their game. Run the ball, use Brock Bowers, get Carson Beck comfortable in this game. Play their game. Dominate the trenches. Our O-line looked pretty bad, so they have to show why O-line looked bad. They have to play in South Carolina's backfield. Get Carson Beck comfortable. First SEC game. I already explained that. Don't allow South Carolina to run the ball. Explain that as well. Win with man coverage on defense. So basically just win one-on-ones, allows you to do more and allows you to blitz. It allows you to send extra guys. You don't have to just rely on 4-man rushes. You can send 5. You can send 6. You can even send 7 if they block a running back. So if they're able to win one-on-ones, it opens up the defense for so much stuff. So, and obviously, I have Georgia winning that game. That's why I made that face. My South Carolina boys are definitely going to be in for a tough one. I have Georgia winning. So, yeah, man, it's going to be rough to watch. Next, we have Minnesota at 20th ranked UNC, Saturday, 3:30 on ESPN. Minnesota has to put up points. This ain't a Big Ten game. This UNC offense will score. You have to score with them. Can't win 10-3, 17-10. No, you're going to have to score some points. Have to get to Drake May. You can't let Drake May get comfortable in that pocket. He's going to pick you apart. Don't allow Omarion Hampton to get going. Oh, boy, if they get the rank game going too, and now you have to you have to load the box. Oh, Lord. Clock control. Pretty much explanatory. Keep the offense on the field. Keep North Carolina offense off the field. I think Kelly Manis has to stop the turnovers. He has I think he has 1 touchdown, 2 picks as well. Gotta be better with the football. For UNC, gotta keep Drake May upright. Give him time. He's gonna find the guy. You just gotta give him time. Create turnovers. Kelly Manis, he's gonna throw you one probably. Gotta catch it. Get off the field on defense. Get off the field on defense quickly to tire out Minnesota defense. So what that means is get a couple 3-and-outs, maybe even 1 first down. But keep Minnesota's defense on the field, so North Carolina's offense could tire them out later in the game. Might get more time than Minnesota might be whooping you in the first half defensively. Might be playing in your backfield. Might be getting the Drake May, stopping the run. But that can only sustain but so long if they're out there consistently. If you're not allowing Minnesota to get first downs, long drives, then Minnesota defense will wear down. Run to open up the pass, so they have to get Amarion Hampton going to set up for Drake May, or if Minnesota's just going to pin their ears back. Turn a game into a shootout. That's not what Minnesota wants. They do not want this to be a shootout. This game becomes a shootout, Minnesota loses. I mean, I have Minnesota losing anyway. I have UNC winning at home in Chapel Hill. Better offense. Defense, it looks shaky against App State, but it looked good against South Carolina. So this is a tiebreaker game. So give me UNC. Now, VTech at Rutgers. Saturday, 3:30, Big Ten Network. VTech has to score. Will not win low-scoring game. They put up 17 last week against Purdue. Rutgers, I believe, is a better defense than Purdue, so they got to put up more points because I think Rutgers is going to be able to score. Find Justin Lane, the speedster. Get him the ball. Can Grant Wells stay hot? He has 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Got to put up some points. So, can they stop the run? Rutgers is doing a great job with the run. They got Gavin Wimsatt. They got the running back, Cal Manungi. I'll get into his stats when I talk about Rutgers. And get to Gavin Wimsatt. I know against Northwestern when I watched, he had a couple throws that should have been picks. Northwestern dropped them. Can they get to him and force him to throw the ball in dicey coverages, make dicey decisions? Can they get to him? Now for Rutgers. Gavin Wimsatt, can he stay mistake-free? So far, he hasn't thrown a pick, but like I said, he's had some drop. So can he keep it to where he still has no picks? Run VTech out of stadium. Run the ball. So they had to feed Cal Manungi, who has 42 carries for 214 yards and 2 touchdowns, which is great. Get VTech behind the chains. Make Grant Wells have to beat you. I know he's hot with 5 touchdowns. He also has 2 picks. They also they didn't put up a lot of points. So, and turn Grant Wells over. Like I say, he has 2 picks. So turn him over. In the end, I'm going to have Rutgers winning this game. I don't think VTech can score enough. Rutgers, I don't think they're that great of a team either, however, but I think they are a better team than VTech. I think they will be able to not consistently score, but put up points here and there, touchdown drives here and there. Obviously, more than VTech. I mean, VTech, they put up 17 against Purdue, but that was all in the first half. Late in the first half, second half, they put up 0. And that was after a weather delay. So who knows how that affected either team. So give me Rutgers. Moving on, I have another game I had dread having to go over, but I have to go over it, especially after the situation we were in. My Michigan State Spartans. Washington comes in ranked 8th against my Michigan State Spartans at the Woodshed, 5 o'clock on Peacock. So I'm actually upset this game is on Peacock because I don't think I can watch it. I'm going to try my best, but I don't think I can. Washington, keep passing attack going. Self-explanatory, and I'll say that because Michigan State's defensive backfield has yet to be really tested. And last I remember, this defensive backfield was not good. So they got to attack these DBs, to see if they've gotten any better, see if it's still the same. Pressure Noah Kim. God, it feels so weird giving teams keys to beat my team, but pressure Noah Kim. First real test. Noah Kim played Central Michigan and Richmond. Washington is a totally different animal. Let's see what he do under the pressure of a school like this, with that speed, with that size and that talent. Will he throw picks? Will he throw in bad decisions? Is he able to throw guys open? Dominate early. So, as you know, Michigan State is going to be rocking. The Woodshed is going to be jumping. Dominate early, punch him in the mouth, take this crowd out of the game. Be prepared to take MSU best shot early. Now, I put in quotations, Mel Tucker situation. That can even help us because we want to go out there to show that, hey, let's not focus about that. We're still a good football team. We're going to come out there and give Washington our best shot. Let them know that this situation ain't hinder us from preparing for y'all. So it could work out in our favor. They have to be prepared to take a shot from MSU and give a shot back. Lastly, hold on. I say give MSU behind the chains because if you're Washington, you want, like I said earlier, you want to get opportunities to put pressure on Noah Kim to see how he reacts in his first real game. So you don't want him to have a rushing attack to lean on to get comfy. So you get him behind the chains, you don't allow him to get comfy, you don't allow him to settle in, see what he do. Now, for MSU to win, it's going to take a lot more of what I'm saying, but these are some things I think will help us win. Secondary has to win. That secondary can hold on, and Michael Penix don't throw for 400 yards, 450, 300. He might throw for 225, 2 picks. Got a shot. Have to get to Michael Penix. You have to get him on the ground. You have to rattle him. You have to make him throw the ball earlier than he wants you to. You have to make him throw it away. You decide. Create multiple turnovers, not just one, multiple. We're going to have to have multiple extra possessions with short fields to win this game. Have to get touchdowns. Field goals will not help. If our secondary is getting beat, we're going to need touchdowns, not field goals. Have to keep Noah Kim upright. May run early to settle Kim in. Goes against what I was saying for Washington, so that's self-explanatory. But at the end, I have Washington beating us. Last year was a massacre in Washington. Wasn't even close. This year, I won't say it'll be a massacre. I won't say it won't be. I don't know if I won't say it won't be close. I don't know. But I know Washington wins. I think Washington wins handily. I'll say that. Moving on. We had Tennessee ranked 11th at Florida in the Swamp. Saturday at 7 o'clock, ESPN. We have Tennessee has to pressure Graham Mertz. Y'all know, it ain't no secret. I'm not a fan of Graham Mertz. Joe Milton needs to attack this secondary. We've seen Bryce Barnes be able to get big plays. Nate Johnson be able to get big plays against the Florida secondary, but not as much against Baylor. So this secondary of Florida might be weak, might be susceptible. So they got to attack deep. You got guys like Brew McCoy, I think Squirrel White. So Joe Milton has a big arm. So got to attack. Force Florida to be one-dimensional. Force them to pass. Point blank. Just force them to pass. Make Graham Mertz show me that he can beat me. Show up and dominate. So I get Tennessee is like head and shoulders better than Florida on paper. They still got to show up and show why they're head and shoulders above Florida on paper. Take crowd out of game early. The Swamp is going to be rocking. It's not going to be like it was in 06. Not going to be like it was in 08. But it's still going to be loud. The environment's still going to be crazy. Take that crowd out early, just like Washington has to do against MSU. For Florida to have a chance, can they establish a run game? Take some pressure off of Graham Mertz. Does Graham Mertz have a control of this offense yet? He looked spotty against Utah, though. At one moment, I thought he had control of it, but then he didn't have control of it. Does he finally have control of this offense? Can they keep Graham Mertz upright? Can they protect Graham Mertz? This Tennessee D-line is going to be hunting for Graham Mertz. Can they get to Joe Milton? Can they force Joe Milton to throw a couple bad passes? Can they get Joe Milton? Maybe they might be waiting for that deep shot. Can they get to him before it develops? Force Joe Milton to make bad reads. Self-explanatory. But at the end of the day, I'm going with Tennessee, and I'm going with Tennessee by multiple touchdowns. I think this is a better team. They should be able to come in this game. It's an SEC game. I get it. Come in this game ready to dominate. They're not going to be sleeping on Florida. Nobody's going to sleep on Florida. I understand Florida is not a Florida as they once was, but it's still the name Florida. You still have that mystique. They're not going to be asleep. They're going to be ready for this game. Next, I got a little Sunbelt treat for y'all. JMU, James Madison at Troy, Saturday, 7 o'clock, NFL Network. Jordan McLeod, who I said should start against Virginia, had a great game, 20-31, got a win. Can Jordan McLeod keep up the good start? Self-explanatory. Can they stay effective on the ground. Been really good running the football so far. Have to stop Kamani Vidal. They have to. They have to stop Kamani Vidal. If Kamani Vidal gets going, boy, they in for a long day. Win the time of possession. Both teams like to run the ball. So that means when you run the ball, you take a lot of clock. Can they win the time of possession? Force Gunnar Watson to throw more. Kind of go hand in hand with stopping Kamani Vidal. For Troy, get to Jordan McLeod. Don't allow him to have the time to look and find a receiver. Get Kamani Vidal going to help Gunnar Watson. Have to stop the run, force JMU to be one-dimensional. Get JMU behind the chains, and have to get stops. So the reason why I put that last one in for have to get stops because of the K-State game, they gave up 42 points. JMU put up 36 against UVA. Now, I don't know if Troy is, again, we don't know if Troy has the same defense as they did last year. I think this is a good litmus test for this Troy defense. See if they get the stops. I'm going to go JMU. I have a check mark over JMU. Took me a while. I still am indecisive. This game is a toss-up, to be honest, but on my previews, I like to give winners. So I think JMU is going to win. I think JMU's got the better offense. I understand Kamani Vidal is the better running back of the running backs, but I don't know. I just trust JMU to win this game. Now, next, we have Syracuse at Purdue in a rematch on a terrible ending, in my opinion. Saturday, 7:30 on NBC. Syracuse, Gary Schrader has to continue hot start. I think he has like 5 touchdowns. I think he has no picks. I should have wrote it down. But I want to say he has no touchdowns, but I also want to say he has 2 touchdowns. So, no interceptions, but I also want to say he has 2 interceptions. So, funny enough, I got it pulled up right here. Gary Schrader actually has 1 interception. 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. 543 yards, only 37 to 54. So, high start for him. Be ready to defend the pass. You know Purdue's going to come out slanging a rock. Hudson Card, Deion Burks. They're going to come out ready to throw the rock. Establish the run. Purdue defense is real suspect. I said it week 1. I said it week 2. Say it again. They can establish the run, control the clock, keep Purdue's offense off the field. That was my next point. Keep Purdue offense off the field. And then dominate the trenches. To run the ball, you got to win the trenches. So dominate the trenches. And you want to dominate the trenches on the defensive end to get the Hudson Card. Now, for Purdue, get Devin Mockabee going. Got to establish the run game so Hudson Card and them can open up the pass game even more. Get this defense creeping down so you can hit them over the top with Deion Burks. If you go up big, have to maintain the lead. So Purdue, I think, had a 14-point lead against Fresno State, and they was up 17-0 to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech was able to wash away the 17-point lead. They tied it at 17-17 before half. And Fresno State won the game. They came back, I think, down 14 twice and won the game 39-34. So have to be able to maintain big leads. Hudson Card, continue to deal. Got his stats right here. He's 40 for 64, 502, and 2 touchdowns. Have to continue to do what he's doing. He's playing well so far. He's doing really good so far. A lot of people aren't high on Hudson Card. I think Hudson Card's a cool college quarterback. Just keep doing you. Can your defense get stops? It's a big question. Fresno State put up 39. I understand VTech put up nothing in the second half. Put up 17 in real quick fashion, though. So, remains to see if they could get stops, consistent stops. And Deion Burks, get him the rock. Like I said, establishing Devin Mockabee, you can get Deion Burks over the top. You can get him an intermediate. Just get him the football. In the end, I think Purdue, who should have won last year, gets the rematch this year. They're out for blood. I understand that Purdue don't necessarily have the same team as last year, but Cam Allen and Devin Mockabee are still there, so they remember that hurdle last year. They're probably going to be instilling it into their guys this week and practices how nasty they lost the game for unsportsmanlike conduct, I think, by Durham Payne. So those guys will get those guys ready. I have 3 more games to preview, so I just want to say thank you for having been riding with me so far. I understand these previews can get lengthy. We're already an hour in, and so I get it. Just, thank you for riding with your boy so far. If you know what I'm saying, please light up the comment section still. Like, comment, subscribe. But let's knock out these last 3 previews. Pittsburgh and West Virginia for Mark. If you're still in the comments, Mark, I got you. Pittsburgh, West Virginia in the backyard brawl Saturday, 7:30 on ABC. Pitt, Phil Jurkovec hasn't stayed mistake-free. No picks so far. Can he continue it after this game? Establish the ground game to keep pressure off Jurkovec. One way to keep him mistake-free, being able to run the ball, not having to put in the ball in harm's way by throwing it. Have to contain C.J. Donaldson. Again, nice running back. He's poised to have a great sophomore year. Have to be ready for a dogfight. This is the rivalry game. It's going to get gritty. It's going to get nasty. Have to be ready for that. I think Narduzzi will have them ready. And keep West Virginia behind the chains. And containing C.J. Donaldson, that helps with having to put the ball in Garrett Green's hands. Now, for West Virginia, force Jurkovec to make a mistake. First him to throw a pick. I got you, Mark. For West Virginia, get C.J. Donaldson going early. Get him going. I think that's the best play on y'all offense. You have to get him going. Got to get him 5 yards here, 6 yards there. Get him in this game. Get him in rhythm so he can start breaking runs later. I think that's how y'all beat Baylor. So get him going. Have to win one-on-ones, offense and defense. So basically receivers and D-backs. You got to win your one-on-ones. So you can get obviously if you win one-on-one offense, leads to chunk plays, leads to first downs, receivers, stuff like that. And on defense, you can go, like I said earlier, you win your one-on-ones on defense, it opens up so much more for you to run. You can run, man. You can run blitzes. You can blitz as many people as they block plus one. If your D-backs is going to win one-on-one, so it forces Jurkovec to put fire under Jurkovec, and he can make a mistake. So you got to win over one-on-ones. But who will step up at receiver? You can get C.J. Donaldson going, but at the end, they're going to focus in. They're going to key in if he gets going after a while. They're going to load the box. Your receivers got to step up. Who will step up? And Garrett Green can't make the first turnover. So I believe both quarterbacks have 0 picks at the moment. Both QBs, which QB blinks first? Which QB throws the pick first? Can't be Garrett Green. It can't. Now, before all that being said, I have Pittsburgh winning this game. I believe this is the second time in a row. This is in West Virginia. Let me look that up, make sure. I believe I looked it up earlier, and I might have just forgot it again, but I believe this for the second year in a row, this is in West Virginia, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, considering this is a rivalry. Like, it's supposed to go back and forth, but it is what it is, I guess. But I got West Virginia in this game. Not West Virginia. I got Pitt in this game. I'm looking up real quick if this game was in West Virginia. I remember myself looking this up earlier, but I don't remember what I saw, which is crazy enough. I should have wrote it down, but I could have swore I was going to be able to remember it, but nope, I don't. So give me 1 second. I'm almost there. Oh, no, I was wrong. This game was at Pitt last year. It was at Pitt last year, and Pitt won. It was at Pitt, and Pitt won because of that drop touchdown by Bryce Ford-Wheaton. I like Bryce Ford-Wheaton too. All right, second to last game I got here. TCU at Houston. 8 o'clock, Fox, Saturday night. TCU, Chandler Morris has to have no turnovers because TCU is going to have to put up a lot of points. Contain Donovan Smith. Do not let him run. Don't let him beat you through the air and on the ground. Get Trey Sanders and Imani Bailey going on the ground. Both of them nice running backs. Have to get them going on the ground. Get them going on the ground. You control the clock. You score. You force Houston to have to beat you through the air. Donovan Smith is a good quarterback. I don't think he's great. I think he's pretty good. I think he's a good college quarterback, but I think he can't be susceptible to some bad decisions. Who will step up at receiver? Same thing. Which one of these receivers is going to take this game by the horns? 6, 7 catches, 80, 90 plus. Defense has to get quick stops. I think if TCU can establish some type of offense, the defense get off the field quick, you first of all, you take the air out of the stadium because it's in Houston. I think that's always key because college environments are crazy. So if you're able to take the crowd out of the game, that's half the battle. Now, if you're able to get quick stops, you keep Houston's defense on the field, and you wear on them. You wear on them. You wear on them. You wear on them. TCU's going to run tempo. He's going to wear on Houston's defense. Now, Houston, allow Donovan Smith to be dynamic. Allow him to run. Allow him to throw. Even run some design quarterback runs. Get out to a fast start. Can't afford to go down 28-0 again. They went down 28-0 to Rice last week, and they still lost, but they were able to force that game into overtime. You go down 28-0, 21-0 to TCU, good luck. You're not coming back. TCU's going to just pour it on. Stop the run. It goes hand in hand with my TCU thing. Get Samuel Brown the ball. Playmaker. Just get him the ball. Let him do what he do. And be prepared for a shootout. TCU's going to put up points. Got to be prepared to go score points too. There's got to be one of them games where, they can score, but we can score too. I don't think points are going to be at a premium here. I think stops are going to be at a premium here. So got to be prepared to score. At the end, though, I do pick TCU to win this game. I still really can't read Houston. I honestly think the Houston game that they won against UTSA was because of Frank Harris. Frank Harris just looked terrible that game. I'm more prone to think that Houston, while Houston did look good defensively, I think that was more so Frank Harris beating UTSA than Houston beating UTSA. So I'm going to roll with Houston on this one. Last game of the night, and it might sound a little nasty work for a lot of people, but I think this might actually be a good game. Fresno State at Arizona State, Saturday, 10:30 on Fox Sports 1. Now, I'm going to have to stay up. I'm going to have to do a couple jump jacks, hit a couple push-ups. I'm going to be in South Carolina for these games. So I'm going to have to talk to my father or something to stay up for this game. But for Fresno State, Mikey Kings, keep slinging the rock, man. Mikey Kings having a great year so far with Fresno State. He had to leave UCF. He didn't really fit, I guess, what Gus Malzahn wanted to run. He's not a John Rice Plumlee. Like, he's not. So Mikey King needs to sling the rock, be ready to tackle Cam Scatterbo. So I watched Arizona State versus Oklahoma State last Saturday, like a 10:15, 10:30 kickoff. And Cam Scatterbo gave Oklahoma State fits on short down situations. He's just a ball of muscle, short guy, runs hard. He's going to run you over. He's going to fight for extra yards. Have to be ready to tackle that guy. You come with him with arm tackles, he's running right through them. Rattle Jaden Rashada. You have to get him. He's still a freshman. He's a true freshman. This is his third game. Last week was his first real test against Oklahoma State. But first game was against Southern Utah. You have to get to him, have to rattle him, force him to miss a couple throws, force him to maybe throw a pick, establish the run. Now, Oklahoma State in the first half could not get the run game going. When they were able to establish the run in the second half, that's when they took off. That's when they took off with the lead. And that's when Arizona State couldn't do nothing. They were forced to pass. They were able to get a couple plays here and there, but they couldn't sustain it. If Fresno State is able to sustain the run, I think it forces a lot of trouble for Arizona State. Defense have to get off the field. Can't keep giving up 30. So Fresno State has given up 34 to Purdue, and they gave up 31 to Eastern Washington. Can't keep giving up 30. You are playing with fire doing that. For Arizona State, get Rashada going with some easy throws. Maybe a screen here or there. A little quick slant. A little seam, tight end seam. Something, a little hitch, comeback. Well, not a comeback, because that's still a tough throw. But a hitch. Get them going early. Something easy, something early. Get to Mikey King. Let that D-line hunt. So, again, watch Oklahoma State. That D-line was hunting. D-line was pretty good against Oklahoma State. Let them pin their ears back and get Mikey King on passing situations. Stop the run. Like I said, when Oklahoma State was able to get a run game going, it was pretty much over in that game. Take advantage of Fresno State's defense. They've been giving up 30. You have the advantage now to go score points. The problem against Oklahoma State was they weren't scoring points while getting stops. They were getting stops, but they couldn't consistently score. And finally, heavy dose of Cam Scatterbo, especially in short yard situations. Again, I would explain his run style. 31, 2nd and 1. Hey, it's no secret. We're going to him. Stop him. I don't care. Stop him. With that being said, though, I am going to go with Fresno State on the road. I just think Fresno State has a better offense. I understand that Fresno State defense is susceptible to scoring. But I think right now Fresno State has a better quarterback than Jaden Rashada. Jaden Rashada might become the better quarterback, but right now Mikey King is the better quarterback. So I'm gonna go with Fresno State, and that is my last game. That preview this for this week 3. I'm hoping for an exciting week 3. Hoping for some upsets, obviously, because 2 of my teams playing big games against big top 10 opponents. So hoping for some upsets. But I just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just hoping for good football in general. Love that there's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday football before Sunday. Pretty soon we will have action. Pretty soon we will have Conference USA on Tuesday and Wednesdays. So as a fan, I'm looking forward to it. As a content creator, it makes my job a little harder, but this is why I do what I do. So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoy it, and thank y'all for lighting up the comment section. I hope this episode was informative. I hope this makes you want to watch college football. And until next time, we will see you again, and peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.